Welcome to this resin beach tutorial. My name's Tracey, and today I'll be using sand and rocks to create a beach scene, a beautiful ocean inspired artwork. Now that my art resin's nicely mixed, I'll drop in some white sand just into a cup of clear resin. I also have a second cup which has a mix of the white sand and a bit of natural sand into it just to darken it a little bit. And I'm dropping that into the clear resin as well. Straight away I'll pour it directly onto the wood panel. It's a 60cm wood panel today, pre-primed with gesso, and I've taped the edges with some blue painter's tape. This will protect the edges from the resin dripping over it, and later on I can peel it off and have a lovely white edge. Here you will see that I've applied that dark sand at the top. That's because that's the wet sand area. And now I'll just sprinkle some white sand over the very edge where it's going to be pure white dry sand. Time to place the rocks. These are just ones that I've collected, and I'm placing them down while the resin's wet so they'll just stick to it. And I recently purchased a nice collection of crystal chips from Naturally Wild, and I can't wait to use them on this, but I'm having to use a lot of restraint to hold back from just putting heaps on there because I just love them so much. And also placing little bits of bark and driftwood from the beach and some crushed shells from the beach as well. And these beautiful iridescent quartz crystals from Rez Expressions are perfect for the shoreline. They remind me of little mermaid gems. I'm just going to add them around the shoreline because they look really watery and shimmery. And I'll sprinkle more and more sand as it continues to drop down into the resin, so that way the sand will still be sitting on top of the resin. And I'm also in love with these beautiful white opal chips from Rez Expressions. I have to decorate my sand with these. I just have to. And because the resin's still really wet, they will sink down into the resin. So later on, I'll drop some more on later when the resin's starting to set a bit. So I have some sitting on top as well as sinking down. My goal is to have some of that driftwood and shells to show through under the water. So that's why I'm placing some really high up. Art resin has about a 45-minute working time, so right about now the resin's starting to thicken up a bit. So what I drop on top will sit on the surface, so I can place those lovely iridescent crystals and chips down now and see how they're just resting on top. Now's a good time to sprinkle down more sand, as long as I don't cover up too much of that iridescent loveliness. And now I'll let it dry for 24 hours before pouring the next layer. You'll notice that I use art resin a lot. That's because it's a high quality resin. It doesn't have any VOCs and it doesn't yellow either. I'm trying out a new brand of pigments today by Rez Expressions, and this is a beautiful aqua ocean that I'm mixing. It's a pearl colour that's quite transparent. And the second colour I'm mixing is a transparent liquid pigment called Horizon Blue. It's a beautiful like teal blue colour, and I'll just start with a few drops and add a few more as I need to. And the third colour is a stunning metallic epoxy paste called Electric Blue. It's so shimmery and metallic, it's just beautiful. I've poured a strip of clear resin over the sand because the white waves will create beautiful lacing better over clear rather than colour. I thought I'd try my hairdryer to spread out the water and blend it, but I'm actually not getting enough air pressure out of it, so I'll just use the knife to spread it out, and then I'll use the heat gun to blend it and get some nice lacing and effects. It's such a shame that the camera doesn't capture how sparkly and shimmery that metallic dark blue is. Later on I'll take you on a different angle and show you it. You'll notice that I did use transparent pigments. That's because I want the sand and the little bits of driftwood to show through the water, and I will also be applying a second layer over this, so the pigment on top of pigment will actually become more opaque. And as you can see, the hairdryer does a great job at breaking up those lines and blending and creating some lacing. The heat gun, I should say. I'll show you the lacing later on as well, but I'm getting it through that metallic, and it's really beautiful. It is important to sand the resin between coats so that the resin has something to stick through, a bit of tooth. So when that sand layer dried for 24 hours, I then used an 80 grit sandpaper to sand over the resin where this water layer was going to sit. I didn't, of course, sand where it's exposed, only where the next layer is going over the top of it. And I'm trying Angel White pigment paste from Rez Expressions to see how I go with the white waves and lacing. Now it's really important that the white is thick, so I did let it sit in the cup for about 5 minutes before pouring it. You need the white to be thick so that it sits on top of that clear resin and creates lacing rather than blending into it. Otherwise you'll get just a washy, milky look. And my favourite heat gun to use is one with a compressor nozzle like this. It's because it blows a lot of air out of it. There's a lot of power, and it's also, I've just got more control because the air's not blowing in all directions. It's just in a controlled area. And I tend to have the heat set to about a medium. If I have it on higher, I'm always afraid that it starts to heat the resin too much, and sometimes it can smoke if the resin gets too hot. And now just very carefully evening out that line, smoothing it out so it's got a smooth edge. I love adding these little final touches. They're like instant waves once you get that heat gun onto them. And finishing off with a blowtorch to bring out that lacing. I accidentally dropped a little bit of white on this area, so I can just cover it up with some crystals. Here we go, from Naturally Wild. And some of those little iridescent pearls. I love them. I call them pearls because that's what they look like. And you can see how the combination of the dark and the light sand gives it more depth rather than if I had to just use the light sand alone. It can be those minor details that can make all the difference, which is why I'm being a little bit finicky here and getting it as perfect as possible. Now that I have that wave sorted out, I can look at the composition as a whole. And I can see that I want to drop in some rocks at the top here and create more of an interest in that top area. And those white waves always make it look good. And the blowtorch, of course, to bring out the lacing. I mean, I could almost leave the painting here, but I'm going to do a second wave. So I let it dry for 24 hours once again overnight, sanded it back on the water area, and now I'm pouring my clear resin on. And I'll pour that clear resin higher than I'd like it to be because it always drops down. And using the same colours again, this is aqua blue and then the horizon blues going on. And this time I've made the pigments even more transparent because I want that first layer to shine through so it creates more depth. I'm using this metallic electric blue to highlight and create shimmer in the water. It looks messy right now, but it's okay because the heat gun's going to smooth it all out. With the heat gun, I'll move the colours over one another to help to blend it together, but also it can create some lacing with the heat that's coming out of the gun. You can also tilt angle the board to get that look too. I have done that in previous videos, and maybe I'll do it next time to show you as well. In this video, there's a bit too much contrast in the water. In person, those blues blend much softer and nicer together. But you can see some of that lacing happening there. And there's more of it there. You just can't see it from this angle. But I want to break up that dark patch at the top with some lighter resin. And I'll drop some more little bits of driftwood. I've just got to try not to overdo it. Sometimes I go a bit too far. And I'll leave this layer to sit for a few minutes to watch how low that line drops down before I pour the white, because it will drop quite a fair way actually, and then when I pour the white on, it'll drop another probably centimetre after that. Now I'm just attempting to blend that blue water over the sand a little bit more. And there's a few tiny bubbles, so I'll use the blowtorch to pop those bubbles. I'll go over the entire piece before pouring the white. And once again, my white is very thick. If it doesn't pour in a straight line, then it's just not thick enough. And here I slowed down around the rock, so I made squiggly lines, so I just had to straighten that back out again. I was unsure whether I should pour this second thin line. The first wave, it looked really good, but this second one, once I did it, I realised it was just too much. But on the plus side, this Angel White pigment is actually performing really well. That lacing that's coming across there is beautiful, and the foaminess is nice too, so it's a winner. It worked out great, and I'll be using it again for sure. And the coloured pigments are beautiful too. I'm really happy with those, and I've got some others in my little goodie bag she sent me, so I can test them out in my next video. So thanks, Rez. I love these so much. It's really important what brand of resin you use in combination with the brand of white pigment. It will make all the difference, so depending on your brand of resin, experiment with different whites. So if you find you're not getting any lacing with your white waves, then I recommend switching either the resin or the brand of white. And people often ask me if I use silicone or mix anything else in with that white to create lacing, and the answer is no, I don't. I just rely on the art resin and the white pigment. And if you have the right combination, then you don't need anything else. In fact, I highly recommend not adding silicone to your resin because it will yellow. Even though art resin is non-yellowing, if you add silicone oil to it, it will yellow. I'm trying to cover any questions that I get asked a lot, so if you have any other questions, please leave them in the comments because I can mention them in my next videos. And it's also important to keep your room free of dust as much as possible because tiny micro dust particles will fall on the resin. It's happened to me, and then in that case you need to sand the whole thing back and do another top coat of clear resin. So tips to minimize dust is to turn off any air conditioners or fans because that's blowing the dust around. And also you can use an air purifier that is like a magnet and attracts dust to it. And also you can spray the air before you work with a fine mist spray bottle of water. And so the dust then sticks to the water particles and drops down to the floor. So that's what I do, and it does help. It does help a lot. And then when you're finished, you need to cover your artwork up immediately, either with a box or some plastic container, or you can build some type of tent. But it's important to do that and you'll see all the difference. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I know I enjoyed creating it. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments and I'll answer them in my next video and also reply in the comments. My name's Tracey, and thank you so much for watching.